And
Ready to go. So we actually just do want them to join us, but actually, yeah, just say what you've been up to lately.
okay, so I've been working with a lot of restaurants recently, helping them get set up. During COVID, we were doing a lot of videos, showing people how to make some cocktails at home. I also did a lot of batch cocktails, so we were delivering cocktails to people's houses. You could, no, that's not them yet. No, so you could order some of our cocktails, pre-batch cocktails, all available on the link in my bio, and yeah, it gets delivered straight to your house. Jay, what about you? What have you been up to?
Yes, actually, in the last few months, obviously, since lockdown, we've still been doing consultancy, but the big news for us is that we launched about 6 weeks ago, we launched a semi-permanent residency, but we think we're going to be completely permanent on that residency now. So going well past Christmas, we had a absolutely stonking start. We launched Jay, which has kind of been my dream to launch my own. It's been launching my own restaurant, and at these times, I think the best situation for us was to launch within another bar, another space, and kind of be permanent there and provide great food, and that's what we're doing.
I read about you in the paper the other day.
So last week we had an absolutely amazing review by the one and only Jay Rayner, and that was the Observer on Sunday. So it was his review that he does. He only does 52 reviews a year, and this year he's done even less. So we got one of those reviews. He came in at 8 and then loved it. Walked away very happy.
This dish that we're making today, is this something that we can find in your
This is not actually in the restaurant because we're doing a brunch. We're doing a brunch,
okay, cool.
But you know the flavors that we're doing here. These are the kind of flavors that you can get and you come to.
Okay. So I mean, talking of Jay's flavors, he's made me. What's this?
This is the juice that's left over from our kimchi.
Okay.
So you.
Do you want to explain to people what kimchi is?
Okay, so kimchi is cabbage that's been fermented with chili and some garlic, and it smells great. It's real funky. It's kind of got a little bit of fermentation to it. So you know, when we make it, you get tons of this kind of juice. Okay. So we're working with a bar that we're with right now to see how we can start using it.
So I'm going to try and use this juice. I mean, we were playing around earlier while we were waiting for each other. I'm going to use this in my michelada to add a bit of spice to it.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same way of doing like Tabasco or any kind of chili or anything like that. And that's what you're doing.
Amazing. All right. I
it looks like Adriana's going to come on, so we're going to
crack on. Yeah. Yeah. So Jane, there we go. Let's get you an angle over there. How's that look?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
So I'm going first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Right, so I've basically got quite a few things prepared. So we've got this, the cauliflower here, which we've blanched a little bit. And these are quite large, these florets, but what we're going to do is just cut them in half. So they're a bit easier. So when I say blanch them, I mean literally boiling hot water, salted, and you just stick them in the water, and it's about 3 or 4 minutes, and that's all you need to get it to a point where then when you batter it and fry it, it's a lot easier, and it comes out nice and crisp and on the outside and nice and soft on the inside, and that's kind of what you want really. So that's the size of florets that I've got. They're not too big. And then I've got my batter, which I've already made, already mixed, because we had a bit of time on our hands. So we managed to do a bit extra prep. So in this batter, actually, really simple. It's mostly plain flour, but we've also got some potato starch, which gives it crispness. We've got some corn flour, which also gives it crispness. And there's a little bit of seasoning, so salt. I put some baking powder in there as well. If you want to use self-raising, which is kind of the same deal, you can do that. But essentially, that's kind of it. And then we've got some Korean chili spice. We've got some garlic granules and some onion granules as well. So it's got a lot of flavor to it. And it's going to add a really nice crispness and taste to our cauliflower. So what I'm going to do is going to make this into a little bit of a batter. So a bit of water goes into my flour. Got a whisk. Yeah, and what we're going to try and do with this mix is that you want to basically just get it coated. Oh, flashing everywhere, all over your.
My new
kitchen.
kitchen. I've just moved in and Jay's already making a mess everywhere.
Look, it's on so it's an inaugural.
So that's it, isn't it? Jay's christening my new kitchen today. Couldn't have got anybody better to do it.
Right, so your batter, you kind of want, you see, we can see that pouring kind of consistency. When you make a batter, any batter really, you want to kind of let it sit for a while, and because you get these lumps of flour, and you see something that's a little bit lumpy, it's fine, but you just kind of want to let it sit because then any liquid and any dry ingredients kind of start to mingle and get to know each other and love each other in that mixing bowl. And then you kind of start to lose those lumps. So it's best to let your batter sit. But here you go, that's your consistency that you're looking for. And you can see that the chili flakes have made it a little bit red.
Oh, they're requesting us again.
This has been a fun experience, learning about technology with Habs. In fact, we should have just done, how not to go live.
Yeah. I think we tried about 8 different devices today as well. Yeah.
So it's a super easy and quick recipe, and it's not difficult to make. I've also got, I'm not going to hold it up, but I've got a little waffle maker here. I'll show you this. Oh, there you go, that's my little waffle maker. And we're going to make our waffles. So again, we're going to go back to another batter. This one is similar to the other batter, but actually it's Korean pancake batter. So this one is slightly different in terms of it's got plain flour, but it's also got some rice flour in there and a touch of corn flour. So no potato starch, rice flour instead. And in this one, there's a few other little spices in there. So there's a bit of nutmeg and other bits and pieces, some garlic powder as well, and salt. And again, we're going to make it into a batter that basically will go into our waffle line. So here we go. Bit of water goes into it. Grab my whisk. And then we're going to give that a little mix. Just keep adding water until you get to the consistency that you want. And again, with this one, it's not like a regular pancake batter. When will you finally write?
It's coming, isn't it?
It's coming soon. It's definitely something that we want to do.
I think it's when you get some time, because you're super busy at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, so I mean, it's amazing, and I'm obviously absolutely grateful that at a time like this, when things are just so uncertain for so many people, that we are working and just grateful to be getting work and to be getting people into our restaurant since we launched. But I mean, we started off amazing, and then we got the review, and it's now gone crazy again. So
do you think, like with all of these new lockdown rules, these new tiers, has that had much effect?
So essentially, we're a bar with substantial. Yeah. We sell food and we sell it off. So for us, it's not been too much of an effect. The 10 o'clock curfew has hit the bar.
You basically lose a whole service.
For a bar, you lose a whole service. For a restaurant, we kind of had to open on a Wednesday, which we didn't really want to do, and then we had to start coming in. We do a 20% discount between 5 and 6 at J in advertising. So just to let you know, it's JAE, which is how they spelled my name in Korea when I was out there. But it also means burning coals and embers. So it all kind of works as a
almost serendipitous, yeah.
It was all serendipitous. It was just like one day you kind of woke up and went, hold on, why don't we just call it J? It's kind of a passion project for me. Passion project for me, obviously, and something that is I've been wanting to do for ages. But when we were a £1 million menu before on BBC, we called it Dynasty, and it just didn't quite work with what we wanted to do. It was too broad, it was too generic, but actually this is very specific. And what we tried to do this time was be very, very targeted. It's Korean food, but with through my eyes, and that's
your speciality, right? Is Korean food.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, obviously, I do lots of other stuff when it comes to my clients, but for this project, this was absolutely what it is. So But yeah, look, so there's a link if anyone wants to exchange restaurant.
If you look at the comments, yeah, there's a link.
There's definitely a link there. Thank you so much. It's absolutely always on it. Let's go for this better. So yeah, that was, it's gone crazy, but what we've done is we do 20% off between 5 and 6 if you order and get your checkout in that time. So that's a nice little incentive for people. But then on top of that, we open on Wednesdays now, so we're Wednesday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Nice. Unfortunately, the bar does lose at the 10 o'clock curfew. It does lose it, and also the mixing of households.
People drinking.
People drinking earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see brunches like all the
Brunches are going crazy.
Yeah.
We're thinking about brunches and things like that at the moment. Just
Day drinking is dangerous. Day drinking is dangerous.
just get maybe hangover. That's kind of what it is, really, isn't it? So look, I am about to put my batter into my waffle. James just boiling his waffle machine.
Ooh, that is hot. I burnt myself and all.
It's so easy to burn yourself on these things.
Yeah.
And also, there's a little bit of patience required with these because they can be temperamental. And then if you're able to pull the camera down onto,
Can't wait to come. Yeah, the reviews have been phenomenal.
we're so pleased. So I'm going to dump this into you to see that. So what you want to do is each one of these kind of want to go like there.
Don't know if you can see the color of the waffle batter.
It's got a spice in it called gochugaru. Gochugaru is basically dried chili in Korean. Yeah, gochu meaning chili and karu meaning dry. So that's basically what it is. You want to spread it about, but not completely. So it's tricky business waffles. But once you get them right, it's like pancakes. The first one's always going to be a little bit dodge. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is the top part of that iron. I just want to get so just get a bit of oil using a little kitchen towel here.
I think we've full on lost Asiana today.
We have lost it.
Yeah, so
This is what we're going to do. We're burning it now. Obviously, through Hatz's Instagram, but we're then going to put it up
on Asiana.
So we'll just
Okay,
upload it.
so you missed the beginning. Shall we share the recipe again?
Yeah, so it's super easy. Actually, in terms of recipe, we'll try and get something up.
So we'll probably stick a little link in the bio.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're making is a kind of Korean pancake that turned into a waffle, and then we're doing.
Oh, there they are. But where are you? You need to join us on a live, please, guys. Go live with Asiana. Yeah, hit that button.
I'm going to hit this button, go live with Asiana, and then we'll try again. Okay. Anyway, back to where I was. Right, and so then so we've got a Korean pancake batter that we're putting into a waffle line, and I've got some oil here, which we're then going to fry some cauliflower. White large fried cauliflower, and I already have my batter that I've made here. So this is the batter. This is basically mainly plain flour, cornstarch, potato starch. All of those things give a nice crispness, but the flour obviously gives it that kind of gluten bounciness that you need. And then I'm going to get my oil on. I've never used your thing.
Dude, I've not used it myself.
This is all new for me. But we just want to bring that temperature right up to where we need it, right? So about 170. But I'll get that slowly up. And while that's coming up, and batter that's being made here, I'm going to make a sauce. This is the most exciting part, actually.
Yeah.
It's super, super exciting. So I've got something called gochujang. You might have heard this, you might have used it a few times, but it's like basically a soybean paste. So like a spicy miso or something like that. But it's a fermented paste, and it's really nice. It's spicy. A
So
bit
is
sweet.
this something you make yourself? Or?
You wouldn't make this yourself. No. But you can buy it. It's quite ready to
Okay.
so you can really get it from restaurants. So it's a really thick paste, and what we're going to do is this is going to be our kind of Korean angle to this in terms of like it's going to be our sauce that's going to go over.
So then we've got Korean angle to the enchilada as well.
Exactly. So I've got some maple syrup here, and I'm going to just put that into here. So you know, like chicken and waffles, right? Is
Chicken and waffles.
it's classic with, but you'll always have like a kind of a maple.
Sorry for so many questions. Is there a cookbook you recommend to learn veggie Korean?
No, but watch the space.
Yeah. Just keep bugging Jay on his Instagram. That's a lady for this. Send him DM. Say, look, I'm really nice. Help me out.
Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah. The cookbook is sliding into Jay's DMs at the moment.
Okay. So look, that's your maple and gochujang right now. It's still a little bit thick, so we want to bring it down a bit more. So I've got a touch of vinegar. Just going to give it a little bit of sharpness, and this is where we start to really complement your making.
Yeah.
Perhaps in terms of drink, because what we've got here is we've got spice, we've got sweetness, and we've got sourness, and you've got all of that in that drink as well.
That's the important thing. I think a lot of people don't realise with a drink, we're balancing a bunch of different flavouring profiles to create a whole new flavour. So yeah, no, that's perfect.
So I'm going to give this a little taste and see where we're at. And also the other thing that's really key in is something that's really key in Korean food is sesame oil. This is a Korean sesame oil, and that adds that kind of toasty smokiness, but like sesame oil. We love it, and it's an absolute staple in any Korean dish, really. So you got that. I'm going to give that a mix, and what we're looking for is that if I should be able to kind of drizzle that all over the cauliflower once it comes out of the fire. Oh
yes, they are looking good.
They're a little bit short on the batter, but we'll stack them up and we'll make them look good. They have come out super crisp.
Nice. Yeah. I can't wait to dig into these.
I'm going to take this out for now. Yeah.
Oh, you've got plates already.
I've got a plate. We'll go with the pretty one.
Yeah.
So we'll just put it onto a plate.
Bought fancy restaurant plates today.
Yeah, actually. Okay, so that's the first part of it, which is your waffles. Nice. Love it when a plan comes together, sort of. So one thing that did come out right today.
We spent a bit of time balancing the michelada before.
Yeah.
I think we kind of perfected that as well.
We're going to give this a taste. They're absolutely delicious. It's got that real sweet heat to it as well, which is nice. Have a taste of that. Oh, it's so good. Right? It's smoky at the same time. It's really nice. Do you know what? I wish you could try that, but I mean, it's
got a nice little kick to it.
Yeah. Wow, delicious, right? What I'm going to do, because I do want to go into drizzle it, I just take out the heat a little bit. I'm going to put a tiny touch of water in, just to loosen it up. That's all of it. That's super delicious, right? Okay. And then the next part of it is I'm going to fry my cauliflower. So we've got to batter it.
It's almost got a bit of a dark chocolate character to it.
Right. And with kind of Korean fried chicken or Korean fried cauliflower, whatever you're doing, you basically are looking for that kind of sweet flavor from that sauce or whatever you drizzle on top.
Yeah.
Because that's the classic, isn't it? That's the classic way of doing it. But I'm just coating this in this batter, so you can see that
That smells delicious as well.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, and there's a bit of spice in there as well, but it's not overly spicy. Okay, so I'm going to just check my oil by just dropping a little bit of the batter. And if that drops and then comes straight back up again, and we're ready to go. If not, then you are up, perhaps. I'm going to get the temperature back up again a little bit on that. So
it's costing my new kitchen.
I'm going to make it right myself. Okay, so we're going to wait for that batter to come up, and then in the meantime, perhaps I'm going to go on these.
Okay. Right, so we're going to make a michelada. It's one of my favorite drinks. It's almost like a Bloody Mary, but we're going to be using an alcohol-free beer with it as well. Today I have with me. Today I have with me some alcohol-free gin. So 0 alcohol in here. This is a rhubarb flavored gin. It's quite nice. It's going to give me quite a sharp flavour, which I'm going to try and balance out with some sugar syrup and some lemon juice, and then we're going to just balance that with some beer. Yeah. We were playing around with this earlier, and we did find it a little bit too tart. But you know, me and Jay had some time, and his expertise really came into effect. So I'm going to start off with a 50ml shot of this into my cocktail shaker. We're going to do 10ml, I think it was, we said on this. Yeah, 10ml of fresh lemon juice. Now some of Jay's magic stuff. This stuff is delicious.
Is the kimchi water?
Yeah, I like it a bit spicy, so I think originally we went with just a couple of drops, but I'm going to go with
a bit more.
Yeah,
cool.
About a teaspoon and a half. And then I'm using Big Tom's spicy tomato juice, and I'm going to go with probably, I think I'm going to go 75ml on this, because when we do shake the drink, we're adding a little bit of dilution. I don't want it to look like it's watered down. I'm going to crack some salt and pepper into here as well. Yeah. So this is a nice kind of savoury drink, and I know it's going to complement Jay's meal perfectly well. So I'm looking forward to this. So I've got my mixture all in here. I'm going to fill up my cocktail shaker with ice. At the same time, I'm going to fill up my glass with ice that I'm going to be pouring the drink into.
It's an important step, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? Always prep your glass first. I go to a lot of cocktail bars and they make the drink and then just touch them around for it. Glass on glass, yeah. Right, so big tin, little tin, and we're just going to pour that in there. Put that down, give this a good, so maybe a 10-second shake. Sure. Don't want to over dilute it. So. Let's open this up. Get out my Hawthorn. I'm using a Hawthorn strainer just to stop any of the ice that I've shaken into it from getting into my glass.
Just explain the Hawthorn.
So a Hawthorn, this is a Hawthorn strainer. You'll see it in a lot of bars. The whole purpose of this is basically just to stop the ice coming from the shaker into your glass. You will see some bartenders, they'll probably use another strainer, a tea strainer on top, and that stops the sediments and any smaller ice shards going into your drink. That's typically used when you've got a drink going into a martini glass or a coupe glass like that. But we're just going into ice. Arguably, you can just dump the ice from here into here, but I've got fresh ice, so I like using fresh ice.
So that's the dilution. You get like the dilution, all the same and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So just pour that in there. It's my nice spicy mix. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to top this up with some non-alcoholic beer. So let's give this a nice little garnish that looks nice and pretty. There is no mint in this drink, but do like a little bit of mint there because I have used lemon juice in there. Nice little size. Like that, yeah. Lemon. So let's get back to Jay. He's at
Right, we are at that stage where I'm going to get our cauliflower into here. So it's been battered. The oil is pretty much at temp. So let's go in. Just fry them. So we've got 3 kind of large-ish pieces in here. Oh,
see the sizzle.
I remember because it's partly cooked through, so all you're really trying to do is just crisp up the outside, get it nice.
So you've blanched the cauliflower.
I blanched the cauliflower first because I just feel that sometimes pieces that large, it's really difficult to get the inside cooked before the outside gets cooked. Yeah. So this batter will crisp up nicely. Got our waffles already ready, and I've got a ton of garnishes. So all that's what I've got. That's for coriander, it's not very traditional.
What's the importance of garnishing when it comes to? I know the importance when it comes to cocktails.
Yeah.
Is it the same?
Yeah, because you're adding another layer of flavor. Yeah, adding a layer of texture. There's lots of things that you can think of.
Because we visually look at something and we taste it before we even put it in our mouth.
Exactly.
Right?
So like people smell food and stuff. Like you want them to smell what we're going to put together, like garlic chips, sesame seeds, a little bit of coriander. It's really important to have visually and from that first kind of smell essence. Right, so these are doing nicely in here. You see they're trying off. So we're just going to get a bit of colour on them. It's not a bad hop. I don't like as much normally. This is not bad. Right, I was going to talk you through. So we've got some really nice garlic chips here. So this garlic chips are going to add like extra crunch. Who doesn't want extra crunch? Always, yeah. And then we've some toasted sesame seeds. Again, very ubiquitous Korean food. And some crispy shallots. You can buy these crispy shallots. Make them we have time to use Instagram. And the first live we did. Yeah, that was alright. Yeah, I know. And then I've got some pickles that we make in house. So we do a chicken sando actually. It's super popular. So a couple of service, but this is the pickles that we put with that, which I think will work really well with this. So these are just pickled cucumbers, like short Lebanese cucumbers, and then we've got a ton of different spices in there. So we've got like Szechuan pepper, chili, that kind of stuff, and just a very nice pickle mix. I think this is going to cut through all the other stuff. Remember, you've got kind of that stuff kind of happening there with the kimchi, so we've got it happening with it. So it's a really good marry up of these things. So see, that's looking so good, so good. So I want to get a nice bit of colour on that, and that will then go on top of our waffles. But we're going to drizzle that lovely vegetarian dressing. So if you're watching it earlier, then you'll see that is delicious. This is just like super tasty, popular basically.
We should add some bourbon in there. What?
You know, maybe in a few days after.
Oh, wait,
after sober October.
Sober for October and Navratri, right?
Navratri. So that's why we're going alcohol free and vegetarian. In fact, vegan.
Yeah.
So it's a really good recipe. We will get it up to so far recipe. So we're nearly here on this one. This is getting nice and golden. And you can see, it's nice colour, and it's cooking inside. It's finishing off cooking inside.
So for anyone that's just joined, we're doing a play on a chicken and waffles. And instead of chicken, Jay's gone with cauliflower. He blanched that earlier. He made his own batter, which is pretty nice spicy batter. We're just frying that up now. Waffles are ready. We have a delicious alcohol-free michelada ready to pair with that. I think Jay's just preparing his garnishing now.
Yeah, so I've got some spring onions here as well. I forgot to mention about spring onions. I absolutely, again, it's very common in Asian and Korean food, but I think, just on top of this, just to pile up a load of spring onions, it's just so flavor that you're going to get wider onions. Okay, right, we're nearly there. Yeah, look, that's super crisp. You can see that really nice and crisp. And I'm going to just take that off the heat. And then
So, Jay, what is it about Korean that kind of pushed you towards wanting to do this specifically?
So for me, it's everything. I mean, I could cook Indian food if I wanted to. I grew up obviously grew up in an Indian household, but around the restaurants. But for me, I think that Korean food just did that thing where it's like this kind of perfect storm of flavors. Yeah. It's like spice, But
So
not
I
really
love Mexican food.
Right, exactly. You love that. You love Mexican food. That was,
Yeah.
but make Korean food, and also it's super versatile. It's actually really healthy, and it's an Asian cuisine that I can really kind of get on board with. I do love like Szechuan.
So you spent some time out.
Yeah, I spent some time out there learning how to cook this food, which I think is really important to go to the source.
Yeah, of course.
And just don't like learn it from a book or from YouTube or whatever. I'm going to do this. That's me playing cauliflower, but it's wait, I'm playing the cauliflower. It's because it's so crispy. It's so crispy. It's unbelievable. And then we've got these like crispy ones, a little bit too crispy. Right, and then we're going crisp on crisp. Yeah. So each one of those waffles will get a little cauliflower treatment, and then we go with our sauce, which we're going to drizzle on abundantly.
I was going to say, don't be shy with that.
I'm not
sauce.
being shy.
You really like that
This
sauce.
is everything that's going to connect it all together. If you are on the right channel.
Yeah, we were supposed to be on Adriana again. We're hoping that they're going to upload this to their page. We were supposed to be going live on their page, but Instagram doesn't seem to like us today.
No.
So we thought we'd just do it on ours, film it, and then upload it onto their page a little bit later.
Okay. So you can see that's with the sauce and with the waffles and the cauliflower. So good. There's only one way to finish this off, and that's just tons and tons. So garnish the spring onions.
So Jay, any plans to do a brunch at your place then?
It's something I'd love to do. At the moment, we just don't have huge amounts of time to do.
I guess your service is probably super busy. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So we're basically a 50 cover space.
Yeah.
Because obviously because of COVID, we've had to reduce our numbers, so we're a 50 cover space. We normally are fully booked.
Yeah. You must have been like crazy packed after those reviews went out.
Yeah. So this is our first week. Last week was our first week after the reviews.
So I was pretty lucky to get you down here today as well. Because Jay's super busy. Today. I spent most of the time being tech geeks.
Family time. Yeah, I feel like I've been in the Curry's PC world today. All day. Right. That is, guys, my Korean fried chicken, Korean fried cauliflower, and Korean pancake waffles with loads of garnish. So gochujang and maple sauce with a ton of garnish.
We are pairing that off with a michelada, which is using a rhubarb gin, a little bit of lemon juice, Big Tom's spicy tomato sauce, and then it's topped up with a non-alcoholic beer, garnished with some celery, mint, and some lemon.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, we hope you enjoyed our little live session. Hello. Hope you enjoyed our little live session. We did try our best to get on earlier, but the powers that be didn't want us there.
We're here now, though.
Yeah. So you can check this out hopefully later on
IGTV, and also on your IGTV, and possibly on mine as well.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Hope you enjoyed our little session. Thanks for being patient with us, everybody that was waiting for 2 o'clock. We'll see you soon.